Each organization has so many processes defined. Many of us have problem with some of these processes. Agile Manifesto defines first value as individuals and interactions over processes and tools. Is this value outdated now? No, it is as relevant today as it was when the Agile Manifesto was defined. There are few finer details of the process we tend to forget. Let's check the finer details of this process and how they originate. Why should we care so much about process? Mainly because process takes time out of productive work. We can segregate processes into two broad categories based on how they originate. Let us call these result-driven and deficit-driven. Deficit-driven process can be broadly grouped into trust deficit, competency deficit, and knowledge deficit. Trust is a difficult topic to discuss. Let's reduce the scope to our work. Does employer trust employee? Yes, they do. That's the reason they hire them. But they do not trust them completely. And amount of trust varies. Some people do not trust anyone. Some people trust blindly. Let's shift to the process from the philosophical discussion about trust. Any process which does not deal with the root cause of the trust issue is bad for the organization. When you create a process, check what is the root cause of the mistrust. If you feel team is not testing the features before deploying, check further. First, question yourself. If your fear that team is not doing the test is valid, is it supported by proof? If your fear has evidence, check further why it happened. Did the team get enough time to perform the test? Or is the team demotivated due to some reason? Or are you pushing the features which are not very valuable? Any of this can cause demotivation to the team and they'll not do a good job. If you create a process to force the team to show evidence for the testing, then your team is doomed. Trust has a reciprocity effect. When you create a process with mistrust, it bounces back and the team stops trusting you. This is far worse than the trust deficit one. A process created by ignorance and not able to understand the needs of the team. Imagine a leader who struggles to fit in, who doesn't understand. They always struggle to understand what is going on. They respond to this by creating new process to overcome their incompetency. Do not confuse knowledge deficit with competency deficit. A really competent person might not be knowledgeable in certain areas. And to overcome their lack of knowledge, they might create a process. And it happens unconsciously. They might not be aware of it. So before you create a process, check why you are creating that process. Go deep, do a root cause analysis, and then create a process, and then create a goal. What you're going to achieve by that process? Then your processes will deliver result. You have heard about game theory. Game theory is application of typical elements of a game playing to other areas of activity to encourage engagement with a product or service. Use game theory to create a process. Have a particular result in your mind. That result can be trim some negative behavior or achieve a particular goal or achieve a success for a customer and create process based on these goals using game theory and that you will be rewarded well.